Hi guys, so this is Alan from orangebeetle.com. What I want to share with you is what I believe to be the future of direct response marketing online. Now, one thing I do see time and time again from clients who either call, come into the office, consulting clients and so on, is that these days everybody is faced with probably exactly the same problem. And the problem really is nobody's really working in the future, and the future is now. And what does that really mean for you? Well, it means less response. So what I'm going to do is, obviously I can't cover years of information in a few minutes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the most essential things that you can listen to right now, you can take notes right now, and you can walk away with this information absolutely free and apply it to your business. And I absolutely guarantee it will make a difference to your conversion rates, to your advertising rates, to your response rates, and so on and so on. So, the future of direct response online. Now, of course, direct response has been offline and online for many, many years now. I mean, I myself started working online about 1998, transferring my offline skills and online. But what I can tell you is most marketeers seem to treat the offline techniques and just apply them into the online world. That does not work. So let's go through this. Here's what we're seeing all the time. This is now. This is what's going on now. This is what clients come to me with all the time. Social media. What do we do with social media? So clients are being advised, open a LinkedIn account, open a Facebook account, open an Instagram, Twitter account, and so on, social media, and fill it full of free content. I can tell you this right now, I've seen clients spend tens of thousands of pounds on this, or dollars, with absolutely zero results. Likes, shares, friend volume, and so on does not equate to sales. And if you're anything like me, your business either works or it doesn't work. And how do we know it works? You begin to make money, make a profit for all your hard work. So just loading up social media with endless free content will not work for your business. And the chances are your team are doing that right now, or maybe you're doing it because you've read it or you've been advised that way. Take my word for it, through the testing, through the experience, and through everything else we've seen, that kind of marketing has no place in direct response. How about AdWords? AdWords is getting more and more difficult. The price of keywords and key phrases or just positioning and placement has become so expensive. For example, if we were going just for the word marketing, it would probably cost an arm and a leg just to position ourselves for those words. So the AdWords game is getting more and more difficult, more and more expensive, and less responsive, unless you do certain things that we're going to go into. What about just giving away endless stuff for free? I mean, clients will say to me, well, I was advised to give away this for free, I was advised to give that away for free, I was advised to do this for free, and this free hasn't brought anything back into my business. Well, it depends on what you're doing, but generally, using free as an all-in-one tool to build your business will not work, although it does have a strategic place like they all do. And how about just focusing on the website? Well, when we started building websites in the when I did in the late 90s, I think 98 was the very first website I built for my hairdressing salon at the time. And then I built a website for a gaming salon, a Nintendo gaming website. What was interesting in those days is you would optimize very, very easily using SEO, and you could easily get to position one on Alta Vista or Yahoo because Google didn't exist, Northern Lights and all these other different search engines. Today, to focus purely on the website is a massive, massive mistake. To hope and think and dream that everybody wants to come to your website, it's not going to happen, and I'll explain a little bit more in a second. So just focusing on the website, building a website once, and hoping that's going to be your business is a ridiculous concept, to be honest. You know, we see these companies building websites, say, there you go, there's your new business. We'll do the social media, we'll do the SEO. And I've seen so many of these guys, and it may be just like you. You're doing all this stuff and nothing is still happening. For example, your website, I probably changed my main website. Orange Beetle, twice a year, goes through lots of major changes, probably twice a year. It gets updated every single week without fail. Just building a website on its own and hoping that's going to sell your business will never do it in a million years. How about SEO? No, let me tell you this. After 20 years almost with Orange Beetle, we still cannot get page one on Google. We've had page one on Google, we've slipped off Google, we've gone back on Google, we've slipped on Google. Now, if I can't do it and my guys can't do it with all the experience that we have, if you see someone online selling you a book or telling you information, or one of these experts are saying to you, I'll get you on page one of Google this week, you need to run in the opposite direction as fast as you possibly can. The SEO game is an expensive and it's a time-consuming game now, and it's almost impossible to win regardless of what the experts are telling you. And just changing the copy, will having great sales copy written and placed on your website be enough to increase the sales? In some cases it could be, but it will depend on a lot more going on in the background, because the copy, remember, is only a component of the sales machine. So this is what we have coming to us all the time. This is what we see all the time. And quite frankly, online, all the stuff that everybody's doing isn't going to work for you. It isn't going to work for you at all. In fact, I work with a guy who does £8 million a year on his website, and he does none of that stuff. None of it at all. We do something very, very different. So what's happening is we are being trained by these guys to ignore the needs of the buyer. We're being told persuasion is the only way. Persuade them to buy the product. That's not, you couldn't persuade me in a million years to buy a Samsung phone. Not that Samsung phone are no good, but I like to use my Apple. It's that simple. No amount of persuasion will persuade me to do anything. If I don't want and need it, and those are being ignored, persuasion will never work in a million years. And if you catch me in a weak moment, what will happen? I'll ask for a refund. So persuasion no longer works. Influencing people to buy online isn't going to work either. The web has changed too dramatically. Can we sell with force as well? No, we cannot do that stuff anymore. It isn't working. This is frontline information. We do the stuff every single day in these rooms to build our businesses. Everything I'm sharing with you is tested, it's experience driven, and it comes from the front line when clients come in here and speak to me personally and tell me exactly what the problems are. And some of my clients have been to 3, 4, 5 agencies, 5 experts before they finally say, I've had enough and arrive here. So this is all experience-based information, and I think you'll be experiencing exactly the same. So, where is the future of direct response online? Well, the future is right now, if you're smart. The only way you're going to be really smart is forget about chasing one big audience. I mean, this is traditional in direct response. But offline, we can get away with more than we can online. Online, we have to start looking at this, which is micro data. What does that mean without sounding like a data analyst, which of course I'm not? What it means is more targeting, more highly targeted, more laser focused targeting. We have to look for subgroups of subgroups. For example, recently we did a lot of work for a flower company. Now, they were just originally selling flowers. But the truth is, they weren't really selling flowers. They were selling orchids, they were selling lilies, they were selling wedding flowers, and so on and so on and so on. You can see the pattern. So within that group, within that one group there, you could probably come up with 30 subgroups through the micro data. And when we find out what these things are, it's then and only then can we start to build a really responsive direct response business online. So we need to have super focus, and we need to test everything. The reason for that is simple. Today, search has changed. No longer do we have, when I first started marketing online, 98, 99, I used to always have this visualization of someone going home or being at home and say 11 p.m. in the evening when all the kids were in bed and it was all quiet, 11 p.m. in the evening they would sit down and type in, because I was still working within the hair industry in those days, how do I get my salon busy? That was the key phrase. So they typed in search, you could bring it up on not Google, Alta Vista or Yahoo in those days. It isn't like that now, as you know. So what's the first thing people are doing here? Everybody is thumbing through their phone. So we have trained the public or the buyer or the consumer now to do their search through their phone. You can side swipe, you can up and down swipe, you can do whatever swipe, and if you need to do something else, it's either the thumb or the finger. And also, the mind has been transformed into the way it buys. Because these days, especially online with some of our stats on some of the websites, for instance the flower website, we discovered very quickly that almost every single potential buyer was coming through a phone, coming through a mobile unit, smartphone, rather than a desktop. Yet the whole website, which had been built by this company, had been completely optimized for a desktop. So they were potentially losing sales because it wasn't optimized for the thumb. So everything has to be optimized for the thumb first and foremost. And of course, we're not here yet, but voice activation is well on its way. It's starting to build, but let's just focus on this right now. So the thumb. The second thing, you have to focus on what is going on in the mind. Well, with the mind here, the mind is interacting with the eye. So when we're thumbing through, our eye is now taking control and making the decision. So we're now working with the eye. What does the eye see? So in other words, if somebody is looking for flowers, the eye will go past all the other flowers, the sunflower, the roses and so on, until it finds the lily that it's looking for. So we now have to work with the eye, and then we have to preempt the reaction, which means, does the lily have to be this way? Does it have to be that way? Does it have to be full on? Is it one single lily? Is it a bouquet of lilies? This is where we go for our micro data, which of course we can find very, very easily these days online. And of course, we need to understand how they will react to that photograph with absolute precision, because it's the reaction and the call to action that will increase your sales. Now, why did I say this stuff isn't working anymore? This is the key. This is a really big key to increasing the sales online, pushing your direct response into a completely different level. First of all, you have to understand the path. What does that mean? Well, the path was something I discovered really when I had my hairdressing salons. And I used to ask the question, why would a client come to us rather than someone else, when we were a new hairdressing salon and all the other salons in the town, over 35, had been there for, some of them, well actually one of them had been there for over 40 years. The rest were all between 20 and 30 years. Why would they come to us when we just opened? And one day a client said to me, I really want to change my hair. I look in the mirror every morning, but I'm not confident enough to change my hair. So the key was understanding the path of the buyer, which understood that she woke up in the morning, she would look in the mirror and she would go, my hair looks a mess, to herself. When is the last time I changed my hair? That was where the path began. So that came then. The idea could come from anywhere. The idea could come from what they see, talking about now, what they see on Instagram, what they see on Facebook, What people don't even watch TV now, they watch Netflix or one of the other online suppliers. What we're seeing on these images somewhere, somehow, people see and they now want. So the idea begins somewhere, and they then take this route to purchase. So this is a path. The idea, then they begin this route. Now the route literally is a path. How do they think about this route? What brings them in to your company? What are your clients or customers thinking about? You have to have an ability through these images and other things we discussed to attract people into your business now. To attract people into thinking, I can work with these guys. Do you have trust? Do you have references if that's required? Do you have the right images, or do you just have a lily? Do you have everything placed and put the way that your buyer expects to see these things? This is all part of the path. So the path is, you have the idea, then maybe they look online at pictures, maybe look in magazines, maybe they start to search locally, maybe they find your company, and then they'll look at your website, then they'll look at your Facebook page, and if it's related, they'll look at your other social medias also to find out as much as they possibly can about your company before they arrive. This is all part of the path. Now, one thing I find my customers, I would probably say almost 100% fail on until we work together, is towards the end of the path is when the new customer contacts you. For example, a few weeks ago I contacted a very, very famous company. I wanted some SEO advice, and their automated email said right away, and I've always wanted to work with these guys, and because of this response I didn't work with them. We were ready to pay them to get them doing some work for us and so on. I got an email from the guys and said someone will contact you within 10 minutes. I thought, oh, well, that's cool. Nobody contacted me until about 2 weeks later. I had an email and it said, hi Alan, we believe you're interested in SEO. What do you need? That was it. So you have to remember, one of the final parts of the path is the contact with your company. So when they call you on the phone, what response do they get? Do you listen, or do you just tell them everything you think they need? When they email you, do you just, I see this so many times. When they email you saying, blah, 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 I'm interested in this, does either nobody respond to the contact box, which is very common, or does nobody respond to the email? And if they do respond to the email, do you just say, yeah, you'll find it on this page? It's ridiculous. It's 2017. People know what they want before they get to you. So you've got to make sure this path is very, very clear. So just to go back to the hairdresser in 1 sec, we knew that she had an idea. We knew that she hated her hair. We knew that she then did searches. We knew she looked online. We knew that she asked friends. We knew that at some point she would either walk into the salon or she would call the salon. She would have a consultation, then her hair was done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 components to the path before she calls and books the appointment. What is the path of your buyer? Whether you're selling plastics, whether you're selling whiteboards, whether you're selling computers, do you know exactly what the path is? Because the path tied in with subgroups, microdata, testing and tracking is the only future you will have online, not this. You can use this within this, but to do this in the traditional way that everyone's been taught, and you may have been taught, will not work in 1,000 million years. And I know that because I've seen it. I've been in this game now been in business for 32 years. Been in this game for nearly 20 years now online, and I know what does and what doesn't work through testing and so on. So when you finally bring them in, make sure the offer, this is really obvious, make sure the offer is very, very clear, very, very simple. Get everybody to read the offer and double check it. Simplify everything. You do not need these days acres and acres and acres and acres of headlines and copies and acts of persuasion. Keep it very simple. Still use direct response, just like we do in our office, like we do with our clients, but it has to be completely stripped back for the modern marketplace. And where will these things all lead you? Once you really truly understand that You must make sure that your imagery, because image maketh money, which used to be above the Armani door in Rome, the imagery will sell your business or your product. You take a bad photograph next to a good photograph, it will make a huge amount of difference. Make sure the words. Now, the reason I say word is, if you look at, say, Facebook advertising, for example, which if you're very smart with, you'll do very, very, very well with. If you do it the average way that everybody does, it will just completely suck. It'll cost you a fortune and the conversion rates will be terrible. One client we worked with, a solicitor, we got his conversion rate from the actual ad to the phone call at 49.2%. It was a ridiculous number, but the fact is that's what the number was. How we did that was using the perfect images. We tested this stuff like crazy. For example, we did some work for an artist, and we found when we tried the images, one image we showed of his paintings, which he thought were, everybody knew and it was really famous, that pulled in just 4 clicks. This other image we used pulled in almost 30 clicks, and the other image was an image of the guy actually painting. So it may not be the images you think that are going to work for your company. Test them, test the numbers, find out the micro data, and find out exactly what's going to work for you. The same with the words. You may have 5 words, but 1 word may be enough. You may not have to use the 5 words. Online, I would absolutely, definitely knock it back to as few words as possible. And I can guarantee you this. You'll be emailing me, alan@orangebeetle.com, and telling me about your increased response rates. So this is the future of direct response online. There's absolutely no question. Go through this, get it right. Do this with lists. Check all this stuff, see what the response is. If it's nothing, stop it completely. This stuff now doesn't have as much of an influence or place in the modern world of marketing. This is where the future is going, and it will increase. This is what you need to understand. This is what the user is doing, and if you get these things right, it will lead to more sales, no question. I hope that's been really good for you. Obviously, you can find more about me at my website at orangebeetle.com. But if you just prefer YouTube videos, of course, just subscribe at the bottom. At the video at the bottom, going to be adding a lot more videos, and hopefully it will help you to build your business. Thanks for listening.